This morning, an elementary school counselor says she's seen more students living with mental health concerns as the school district adds a new resource, a therapy dog. WGEM's Jack Polesnik joins us with how the new addition may help. Jack, good morning.
Natalie, good morning. Today, Knox County R-I Schools students and staff will see therapy dog Floki when they walk into school. The 15-month-old English Labrador Retriever was introduced to them yesterday. He's been trained since he was a young puppy to be a therapy dog. The district's elementary school counselor tells me he comes at a perfect time as she's seen growing numbers of young students dealing with poor mental health.
More and more students are being diagnosed with anxiety, depression, mental health disorders at younger ages, and so I think he can be a great service.
She says dogs can reduce the stress hormone cortisol in humans. One thing Floki can do is sense which people are feeling more depressed or anxious. Floki is available to both students and staff. Back to you, Natalie.
Jack, thank you. The counselor adds that some young students will talk to dogs or other animals first before humans. She thinks Floki being there will help them with their well-being.